often talk about job descriptions being useful, but what really is the purpose of a job description? Hello, I'm Jenefer, I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and we help small businesses with all things HR, employment law and people management. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why we need a job description and what it should be doing for you and your business. So firstly, a job description really should be defining the role. So that is the scope, the responsibilities, and that is so that both sides and anyone else around can see what this role entails, what this person should be doing. So useful both for management and for the individual. In defining the role, it should also be really clearly setting out the expectations. This should be your document by which you can really tell whether or not somebody's doing a good job, and it's really clear what the outcomes are, that if they're doing a good job, they know what that would look like and what you'll be expecting to see as a result of them doing a good job. And that's because the job description really should paint a picture of what good looks like. Now, I've got another video on how to write a job description. Take a look there for more detail about really how we do this and how we write it. But really, this job description is to paint that picture. It really shouldn't just be a list of tasks. The problem with a list of tasks is that you get it's not in my job description, and that's not helpful. Often things that we need from people, those things that are often described as above and beyond, I really don't like that term. I think that anything you're expecting should be in the job description. But the reason we have that is because so often job descriptions are lists of tasks. And actually what we're looking for is somebody who is showing themselves to be a good team member, to be a good communicator, to be somebody that's relied upon. And these things are crucial to what doing a good job looks like. So they should be in the job description. The job description should really show what it is that you're expecting. And sometimes that means that you're going to be expecting those things across everybody, as opposed to the scope and the tasks, which are specific to this individual. And that's why I say, if you look at my video on writing a job description, I really talk about how you can look at this and how you can start putting this on paper, because once we start talking about, well, we're looking at kind of those sort of soft skills, I guess we would call them, it can be much harder to describe. But really the job description needs to cover all of those things, because everybody, especially the individual involved, should really know what it will look like, feel like, what they can see when a good job's being done. And that will also mean that we can measure a good job as well. So if we can know exactly what we're going to see when a good job's being done, we'll have something to measure against. So when we're giving feedback, it's going to be much easier to do, because we know we've got this picture, and we know that we can say, well, we've got this picture, either, yeah, you're on it, great, or actually you're over here, and these are the things that you're not doing, these are the things we're not seeing that we should be seeing. And that's really what your job description needs to do, and it needs to really give that picture that you can measure against. It's that level of detail that makes a job description different from an advert, and often I see these terms used interchangeably. And people will talk about job descriptions as part of the recruitment process and seeing adverts, and they'll say, well, I've seen the job description. And really, they are two very different things. A job description is useful as part of the recruitment process, because when somebody can see that the role is being clearly defined, they can see the expectations are clear, they can see that they can look at their own skills, their own experience, and whether or not they could do that job role. All of that is absolutely vital. But it is different to a job advert, which is about attracting people to your company, attracting people into your pipeline. It's about selling the role, selling why people would want to come and work for you. An advert really is an advert. It's marketing, and it surprises me how often recruitment adverts are given to HR to do, and often HR don't have the skill set in marketing and creative writing and things that is needed for creating job adverts. So do see the two things differently, but the job description is absolutely fundamental to that recruitment process, because it really is going to tell the person that you're recruiting, yeah, we know what we're looking for in this role. We know that we can clearly define it. We know that you're going to come into a role that's scoped out. You can see that in advance. And that's really helpful in trying to sell a role. And it's not just about trying to attract people into the role or setting expectations. The job description also gives you a basis to know, what are we going to need to do as part of the induction process? What training does this person need? And therefore, actually, what do we need to be seeking in the recruitment process? So what skills, experience do we want them to come in with? What are we able to train? And how can we then develop somebody, perhaps give them career progression or even just development within the role? All of these things come off that job description. That's why it's really important to have it there, have it written down so that you can then make these decisions, see what you need to do in terms of training and things so that somebody can actually do the role properly, making sure they've got the right equipment, for example, the right resources. Once you've got it written down, all the other decisions become so much easier to make. And finally, a job description is absolutely essential for any kind of benchmarking of salaries. Job descriptions these days are effectively meaningless. Take HR for example. A HR advisor in one company is going to be so different to a HR advisor in other companies. I've seen HR advisors with management responsibilities, some that are looking much more like a business partner, some that actually would look a bit more like an administrator and aren't even doing huge amounts of advising. That's just in HR with one job title, and the reality is that's across the board. Job titles don't give us something to benchmark against. So once we've got that job description, it will help us benchmark job titles in terms of attracting people, because knowing what somebody who's looking for your role is searching for as part of the recruitment process is really important in terms of attracting the right people in, but also benchmarking salaries. So saying this is what we expect people to be doing in the role and what salaries are those sorts of people looking for, what are they being paid elsewhere. A job description just gives you the detail that you can use to be able to do that. So that's it. That's my reasons why you need to have job descriptions. They are so useful in terms of setting expectations, making sure people are doing the right things, what you need them to be doing, how you need them to be doing it, attracting the right people into the business, and being able to benchmark to make sure you're paying the right salaries, which of course also helps you attract and retain the best people into the business. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. In the meantime, if you found this video useful, do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single one.